It's hot, it's summertime, and we're in Las Vegas, and that means one thing. Time for the World Series of Poker, and time for another edition of 888 Ride. And I am about to pick up Daniel Cates, better known as Jungleman. He is a two-time 50k Players Champion. Won it back-to-back years, first player, only player to ever do that. Let's go get him. Each and every summer, thousands upon thousands of poker players descend upon Las Vegas for hopes of winning a bracelet, winning millions of dollars, and fulfilling their dream of being maybe one day as good as the man who's sitting next to me, Daniel Cates, aka Jungleman. Thank you for joining us on another 8-a-day ride.
Yep, I'm happy to join.
So, back-to-back 50k Players Championships. I always talk about how World Series of Poker bracelets, as amazing it is to win one, they're not all created equal. The 50k Players Championship is one of the most prestigious bracelets you can win, and you won it back-to-back years. What does that mean to you?
That's pretty sweet. It definitely feels like, I think about it, it seems appropriate that I should win this particular event because, I've had to contemplate lately, what is it that differentiates me between all the other poker players and what led to my success? And I do think that that event does demonstrate a lot of those things, or it highlights those things, I should say. Whereas I ended up learning a lot of the skills, ended up being versatile, and it's very favorable towards cash game players because the structure is so slow. And if you're going for the win, you mostly need to know cash game stuff and not ICM stuff, whereas ICM stuff's a bit my weakness. And if we're honest, I'm not like one of the best no-limit tournament players. But overall, I'm probably one of the best poker players. I mean, I personally think that's a reasonable... it's possible I'm not, but yeah, so I guess it's like it's symbolic in many ways of what I was able to do, and it also was a good tournament too, or what I've done, and also it was useful for using a bit of showmanship and bringing a bit more fun out to the game of poker. I think that's a big thing.
Well, and you're pretty good at bringing the fun out.
Well, I think it's also. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, so the costumes that you wear and the one you wore to win that bracelet. Talk about that. What's the thought process behind that? Is it just a matter of, hey, I want to be fun? Is it kind of a? I sometimes think of like, is it an ulterior kind of like personality? I try to teach when I coach kids. Sometimes I'll tell them, be like, hey, today you're a crusher, right? I'm going to give you a different personality. Is that it, or is it just I want to be fun?
It's a bit of it's a bit of both. I don't like to only just be the crusher because, it's obviously like to be the crusher by itself is so obvious. There's no value in these things that by themselves are good from these points of views. It's kind of a deep point, which is that to aspire to be something that crushes, to value that has no merit to it because it's so obvious. It's like, for example, a lot of people say their favorite car is fucking like, one of these top tier cars. Well, there's no merit to that because at least when these cars are undifferentiatable, because
try telling that to Ali Najad, by the way. Try telling that to Ali Najad. He loves his cars.
Well, it's nice. It's fine to love cars, and even to love these top-tier cars, but for the right reasons.
I believe it was in Montenegro on a Triton tour, and you were playing with Phil Ivey, and you were interviewed, and somebody said, "What is it like to play with the best ever?"
Uh-huh.
And your answer, and I still love this, was, "Why don't you go ask Phil?"
I was being a bit of a douchebag. I just thought that answer would be funny.
It is funny.
You eventually get used to it. It's useful. It's a useful emotional experience to to be able to play these kinds and realize that okay, that you can actually beat them, and then that you can. I mean, actually, poker is really useful for this reason too, which I'll get to in a second. But it's a useful for self growth kind of thing that to be able to realize okay, you can actually take on the best and in fact beat the best. That's very helpful for one's confidence, and poker is useful in that because of the fact that there's not 100% skill, it breaks down these limiting beliefs in a soft way by allowing people to sometimes succeed against the best and realize, oh shit, maybe I can be the best. Like maybe I can beat fucking Phil Ivey or whatever.
What, for people who don't know, what are you doing these days?
So
Besides playing poker.
a big thing I've recently been putting quite a bit of energy on and trying to figure out exactly how to do this, but I feel like I'm getting close to some conclusions, is I'm building a poker community because, in fact, first of all, poker has a lot of hidden positive benefits that actually do benefit society in a number of ways. Secondly, I'm already invested in it, so my leverage goes quite far in it, so now I can make a positive difference within it and hopefully make the game better for everybody. And I want to I want to do other things, and this would lead me up to provide me with the right experience to these harder things, such as become like a proper business founder, and like someone who's more involved in children's education as well, because it gets involved into all of that. Now, unfortunately, a million things have like sidetracked my focuses so that I haven't focused that much time on this, but that's what I'm working on currently. The goal is a major goal that's in the medium term of sorts, is to build something that supports all poker players for the sake of making poker better for everybody and making there more of an abundance of positive things in general, like good feelings. Ideally more fun. More fun is good. And more relative money for everybody. That's a little tricky, but I feel like I figured that out kind of. And ideally, more people playing it.
I want to turn our attention to the World Series of Poker, and now that you're in your 30s, you've been here for a while, you've won a couple of bracelets, you're in the hunt for more. How has the game changed here in Vegas at the World Series of Poker? You've obviously seen the venues change now that we're on the Strip. What are your thoughts on the game itself and on the people that come here and on the World Series?
It looks like there's loads of potential. It looks like poker's still tough, but there's loads of potential money to be made if someone really applies themselves. So I think it's a pretty good opportunity.
You mentioned ICM's not your strongest part of your game. What are you more interested than in bracelets? Is it bracelets or bust for you?
No, it's more like I play the cash games, etc. But maybe I should be more interested in these tournaments. They're kind of aligning a bit with this new diet I'm trying where I eat once a day. Yeah, that's convenient for tournaments. It's kind of nice to not think about food for a long time. So now you just think about other things. You just like, oh, I'm not eating. So, okay, so now I'm gonna use my energy for something else.
Okay. Hey, Jungleman, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck to you in your quest for whatever it is you're going for.
Well,
the journey.
I'm going for parabolic positive change. That's the goal. I have a bit of a vision, but it's really a long shot. But I'm starting with poker. I see how there's a lot of potential towards that direction. I'd like to find the people that are dreamers that can, aspire to do these possible things, and that they're willing to put in and stick it through with the very tough level of effort to make it reality. Because I think in order to think, really what is ability, if you really keep applying yourself, I think that you can make your dreams reality. So I'm basically going for, well, that's one of the goals, I guess. Or a big part of the goal is to collectively make people's dreams happen in a way that collectively that parabolically benefits society.
I love it. I genuinely love it, and I wish you the best.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, buddy. Good luck to you.
Mm-hmm.